We are still in full swing of our terrestrial season here in the Midwest, and I'm still focusing on a few hopper and or terrestrial patterns. This is the mini flopper. Ran across this one a while back. It is a variation, a smaller variation of a fly called the Stoneflopper. There's a number of different videos out there on how to tie this, and I was intrigued when I first saw this because this is going to be a great panfish fly. I think searching for smallmouth and panfish this time of year, this is going to be a great little pattern. Anyway, it's very easy to tie, very simple and straightforward. I can tie these up very, very quick, and you can modify this for all kinds of different circumstances. So that is the mini flopper. I'll get started tying. Start the mini flopper with my hook and the vise. This is a Mustad 9671 in a size 6. I'm going to debarb the hook. I like this one. I'm fishing this for bass and panfish mostly. So I like this to be a little bit longer shank. I like a little bit longer body and profile. Just looks a little beefier. For thread, I'm using a 70 Denier Wapsi Ultra Thread, UTC Ultra Thread in brown. And that's simply because I'm using kind of a rust colored body on this. I'm going to attach my thread a couple of eye lengths behind the eye of the hook, and I'm going to run this down pretty much almost all the way down to the end of the shank, right there, end of the body. And now for dubbing, I've got just some rust-colored squirrel dubbing. This is just some squirrel body dubbing that's dyed in a nice kind of rusty orange, crawdad orange kind of color. And that's also because I'm using a tan 2mm foam for the body on this. And it just kind of goes with the color scheme, that's all. I'm going to dub pretty much a level body on this. It doesn't have to be real thick. I don't necessarily want this big and chunky. This is a fly that's going to ride in the surface film. That foam will be what will be on top. I'm going to start wrapping this in the back, working my way forward, just kind of keeping a nice level body here. Sometimes I like to just go ahead and put, especially with these skinnier bodies, just put it on in short segments, maybe 2 to 3 inch dubbing noodles on here. That way I have a little bit more control. You'll notice I'm also kind of wrapping over on top of itself a little bit. It's just going to hold that dubbing in a little bit better. Like I said, this is a variation of the Stoneflopper. And there's a number of different videos and articles on this. If you want to take a look at those, you might find a version of this that you like a little bit better. It certainly is up to you. They use different body materials. They tie this in a little bit different, but the way I do this, it's very, very quick. Taking a little longer because I'm taking my time doing this and showing you how to do this, but I have timed myself on this fly, and I can get one of these tied in about 4 to 5 minutes, start to finish. So it actually is fairly quick in terms of tying this. Matter of fact, this is the longest part doing the dubbing. You use a longer, like some rabbit, longer hair fiber, you could get this on a little bit quicker if you wanted to. I want to leave just about half an eye length behind the eye of the hook here Get my thread right up to that, and this is where I'm going to tie in the foam. This is a 2 millimeter foam, tan foam, and I use some River Road Creations Chernobyl ant cutters. For this size hook, I use the medium ones. You want the body to be about the gap of the hook. I'm going to tie this in with the tip just down to the bend. And I'm going to anchor that down right behind the eye of the hook. Make certain you're putting a bunch of thread wraps to collect that. If you put one or two and pull on it, that thread's going to cut through that foam. Now I'm going to put the wing in, and for the wing, I'm using Hareline's Para Post wing. You could use some white polypropylene if you want. I'm taking one strand of this, like this, and I'm going to double that over. You could take 2 strands if you want. I'm going to cut that in half. Now I'm going to tie this in, and I want to take maybe about a body length and sticking out front. You'll see in just a minute. I'm going to tie this in and anchor that down. I'm going to wrap over this maybe about a quarter of the way down the hook shank. This is going to be the tie-in spot. I just basically made the head here. Fold this back and the foam. Get that wing underneath there. A few wraps to secure that in. Now all that foam, this is, or not foam, but the para post, this is why I had that one segment sticking out so far here, because when it folds over, I can then cut this so it's just a little shorter than the back of the body. Now this is where different recipes do different things. They will actually, some of them, before you fold this over, you put in a little bit of, say, some chartreuse or orange polypropylene or something like that to try and give yourself a little hot spot so you can visualize this a little bit better. You can certainly do that. I have found that it is just as easy, instead of putting that in, to tie in a little piece of foam. This one is just a yellow foam, and then also this is an orange foam right here. What I've done is I've taken some hole punch. This is just your average office hole punch. Punched out that foam to make a little round disc, just like this. And then I'm going to put that right on top. And I'm going to put in just a few wraps real quick. I cannot take credit for this idea. I think it was a Chernobyl ant video Tim Flagler over at Tightline Productions did. I'm just recentering that so that I get it nice and even. And I think he did the same thing, put in a little hot spot with just these little discs. And I thought that was an interesting idea. So I've used it a few times since then. Now, for legs, I'm using just some round rubber legs. These are a medium round rubber. This is an orange and brown or orange and black barred rubber leg. I'm going to fold that over in half and cut that. And about the midpoint here, I'm going to tie this all on one side. And I'm only putting a couple of wraps on here. I don't want to cinch down and have those legs really kind of just come perpendicular out like that. Now I'm going to take the top leg here and just slide it over to the other side. This is a quick, easy way to, well, apparently, let me do that again. I want to show you the technique. Apparently I didn't put enough wraps in there. Came out from under the thread. Everything doesn't always go perfect. So you take those two. There's different ways. Different people do this in different videos, different ways. But this is, for this fly, a nice quick way that I like to do it. Tie them both on one side, not real super tight wraps. Now I can slide that one just over to the other side. You'll actually kind of even feel it pop in over on that other side. Now a couple more wraps to secure that, and I can do my whip finish right on that middle wrap right there. Just 3 or 4 turns. And as I said, This is just a real quick and easy little hopper pattern, little searcher pattern. Bring your legs forward. Going to hold those out and trim those just a little bit beyond the eye of the hook. Bring these legs around back, and I'm going to trim those just a little bit longer than the body. You could certainly put more legs in this if you wanted to. It's up to you. But as you can see, I've got a nice little simple pattern. Now, one thing I didn't do, I was too busy thinking about what I was doing and putting in here, is this piece of foam here. I usually will cut that back just a little bit. So trim that back about halfway, and that lets this para post kind of come up a little bit more. So we're going to put some head cement all on these thread wraps right here, and really kind of coat that. And we're going to put some along the sides, right in there and on top. So that soaks down in on all that thread and that whip finish. So that's the mini flopper. And like I said, this is just a great little searcher pattern if you just want to get out, see what's going on the surface, especially this time of year with the terrestrial bite. It's just a quick and easy fly. Once you tie a few of these up, you're going to get in a rhythm. And like I said, you can get these done within 4 or 5 minutes. Try different colored foam, different colored dubbing, all of that. Also tie some of these with the different colored hotspots, because under different lighting circumstances, especially in the evening and low light, different ones are going to show up a little bit better. That is the mini flopper. Thanks for watching today. Thanks for joining me at Devise today. I hope you learned at least a new pattern, if not a new technique, maybe a tip or trick here and there. If you have any questions about this fly or any of the techniques used in constructing this pattern, please leave them in the comments section down below. If you go to the trouble to ask a question, I'll go to the trouble to answer it. If you'd like to help dressed irons, please share this video with your friends and anybody you think that might enjoy this pattern. Until next time, remember, it's fly tying. If you're not having fun, then you're doing it wrong.